All of us have faced moments when anger erupts like a raging fire, consuming our minds and robbing us of our peace. Anger is like an uncontrollable blaze that not only harms those around us, but also eats away at our own well-being. It clouds our judgment, steals our joy, and leaves us feeling trapped in a cycle of negativity. But have you ever stopped to think if there's a way to fully tame your anger, so it no longer has the power to disrupt your life? The ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers us timeless tools to gain control over our emotions, including anger, and live with more peace and self-mastery. Stoicism isn't just a way of thinking, it's a way of being, one that helps us face life's toughest challenges with calmness and clarity. It provides a blueprint for transforming our inner world, teaching us to remain steady and resilient, no matter the storm around us. In this video, I'll share some powerful Stoic lessons, insights that will empower you to eliminate anger from your life and never let it control you again. Stay with me and discover how Stoicism can unlock a deeper sense of peace and wisdom within you. Only by truly understanding the nature of your thoughts and emotions can you gain mastery over them. Trust me, once you internalize these Stoic principles, anger will no longer hold any sway over you. The destructive nature of anger. 1. The destructive nature of anger. Anger is like a fierce fire. Once ignited, it spreads quickly, consuming everything in its path. It doesn't just destroy relationships, it leaves a deep, lasting scar on the soul of the person who nurtures it. Those who find themselves caught in the whirlwind of anger often believe they're justified, but in reality, they unknowingly lose themselves in the process. The Roman poet Horace once wisely said, "Anger is a short madness. It clouds our judgment, blinds us to reason, and fills our hearts with the most destructive emotions." When we act out of anger, the consequences often lead to long-term regret. Ask yourself, have you ever felt truly at peace after your anger subsided? Or do you find your soul burdened by sadness and remorse, realizing that the damage could have been avoided? In those heated moments, we might lash out at loved ones, say things we don't mean, and hurt them over trivial matters. But once the anger fades, the weight of our actions becomes clear. We understand that everything could have been resolved with a calm, composed conversation. In Stoic philosophy, anger is not an external force we have no control over, but rather an internal struggle we must face. As the Stoics remind us, it's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things. We can't control the world around us, but we can choose how we react to it. The way we perceive situations, whether with judgment or acceptance, will determine whether we remain slaves to our anger or free ourselves with peace of mind. Anger doesn't just affect us mentally, it has severe consequences on our physical health as well. Numerous medical studies have shown that people who frequently harbor anger are at a higher risk for cardiovascular diseases, high blood pressure, and chronic stress. A simple example can be seen in our daily lives. When we lose our temper, our breathing becomes shallow, our heart rate spikes, and our body enters a state of stress. Is anger really worth the toll it takes on our health and happiness in the long run? Both Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Jesus Christ emphasize the importance of forgiveness and tolerance. Jesus once said, "If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also." This is not a sign of weakness, but an ultimate expression of emotional control and strength. Choosing forgiveness and staying calm in the face of insults or harm is not just for the sake of others. It is a way to protect ourselves from the internal damage that anger causes. When we forgive, we release not only others, but also ourselves from the chains of hatred and resentment. Pause and reflect for a moment. Does your anger ever truly lead to something good? Or is it a double-edged sword that harms both you and those around you? Instead of letting anger control your life, learn to control it. Serenity, patience, and generosity are the true path to freedom, an enduring path that Stoic philosophy has already laid out for us. 2. Self-reflection in Stoic philosophy. Self-reflection is a powerful tool for mastering our emotions and achieving inner peace, especially when it comes to anger. But self-reflection isn't just about looking at yourself in the mirror. It's a deep, transformative practice that involves examining your thoughts, your actions, and the reasons behind your emotions. Through honest self-assessment, free from avoidance, we can identify the root causes of our negative emotions and create a solid foundation for peace and clarity. Self-reflection is like gazing into a mirror, but instead of examining our physical appearance, we peer into the depths of our soul. When we are faced with anger, the first step is to pause and ask ourselves, why am I angry? Is this anger justified? Or is it simply a reaction of my ego or pride? These questions act as a pause button, allowing us to step back from the heat of the moment and confront the real source of our anger. Through self-reflection, we come to realize that anger doesn't empower us. It clouds our judgment and takes us further away from peace. Think about a time when someone disrespected or hurt you. The immediate response is often anger. Yet, if we take a moment to pause and reflect, we might ask ourselves, how does this really affect me? Can I change this situation in any meaningful way? Upon reflection, we often discover that what initially sparked our anger isn't as significant as we thought, and that the emotional reaction was disproportionate. In our fast-paced modern lives, self-reflection is even more crucial. With the demands of work and social pressures, we're easily overwhelmed by stress, exhaustion, and frustration. But if we take just a few minutes each day to ask ourselves, how did I behave today? What can I improve tomorrow? We begin to form a habit of emotional awareness and control. This daily practice of self-reflection helps us to not only regulate our emotions, but also develop a stronger, more peaceful mind. Many successful individuals like Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey have made self-reflection and self-assessment daily habits that contribute to their success and balance in life. Anger, though a natural human reaction, can only be truly overcome when we fully understand it. Self-reflection is the key to uncovering the deep-rooted causes of our emotions, enabling us to release them and stop allowing anger to control us. As Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "You always own the option of having no opinion." There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. Constantly remind yourself of the value of inner peace. When we do so, we create a stronghold within that keeps anger from overtaking our lives. So, I ask you, are you ready to take a moment each day to reflect? What made you angry today? And what can you learn from that experience to be calmer tomorrow? Feel free to share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. 3. Using mindfulness to tame anger. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by anger amidst a busy, stressful day? In these moments, even the smallest trigger can send us spiraling into negative emotions, causing us to lose our calm and composure. But there is a powerful solution within Stoic philosophy that can help us regain control: mindfulness. Mindfulness is not merely a meditation practice. It is a state of heightened awareness where we can observe and understand our thoughts and feelings in real time. In Stoic philosophy, mindfulness means being present in the moment, fully aware of how we are feeling and why these emotions arise. As the philosopher Epictetus wisely put it, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple yet profound truth reveals that anger and frustration are not caused by external events, but by the way we choose to respond to them. When we become aware of our reactions and consciously adjust them, we can navigate through life with greater peace. Imagine you are driving down a busy street and another car suddenly cuts you off. The typical reaction for many is immediate anger, maybe a burst of frustration or a harsh word. But with mindfulness, instead of letting that anger take control, you would pause, observe your feelings, and recognize that your anger is not truly about the other driver's actions, but rather your reaction to those actions. In reality, you cannot control other people's behavior. The only thing within your control is how you respond. Mindfulness allows you to break the cycle of instant reactions, creating space for thoughtful responses. When you practice mindfulness, you can ask yourself essential questions. Why am I angry? Is this anger justified? What would happen if I remained calm? Would my peace of mind be worth more than the temporary satisfaction of expressing this anger? These simple yet powerful questions allow you to step outside the whirlwind of emotion and make decisions with clarity and calm. In everyday life, mindfulness can be as simple as focusing on your breath, grounding yourself in the present moment, and becoming acutely aware of the emotions you're experiencing. The more you practice this, the more you will find yourself questioning, is this anger really worth my mental energy? What would happen if I let go of this emotion instead of clinging to it? Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, reminds us that if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This teaching highlights one of the core principles of Stoic philosophy. While we cannot control the external world, we always have control over our responses. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to control our internal world, choosing how we react instead of allowing our emotions to dictate our behavior. Mindfulness is not about suppressing or eliminating emotions, but about becoming fully aware of them and responding wisely. When you cultivate the ability to pause, reflect, and choose how you respond, you gain mastery over your emotional state. This process not only leads to a more peaceful and resilient mind, but it also develops the self-discipline needed to face life's challenges with greater equanimity. So, the next time anger rises within you, will you choose to pause, reflect, and practice mindfulness to maintain your calm? 4. Embracing stillness. In today's world, silence seems almost like a lost art. We live in an age where we are constantly surrounded by noise, both literal and metaphorical. The flood of information, the rush of work, and the endless pursuit of more leave little room for stillness. People are perpetually busy, always seeking the next task, goal, or distraction, forgetting that true strength often lies not in doing, but in being still, being quiet, and turning inward. Stoic philosophy teaches us that silence is more than just the absence of sound. It is the cultivation of an inner peace, a deep state of calm where we have control over our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. This is the kind of silence that leads to clarity, wisdom, and the ability to remain balanced, even in the most challenging of circumstances. The Stoic practice of silence is not a retreat from the world, but a way of being in it without being disturbed by its noise. Silence, in this context, is not just a break between events or a moment of solitude. It is a conscious choice, a deliberate act of pausing to reflect and confront our inner thoughts. It is the space where we can observe ourselves without judgment and listen to the quiet wisdom of our minds. Silence offers us the chance to recognize what we might otherwise overlook in the hustle and bustle of life. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you truly stopped and listened to your inner self? How long have you been living with distractions, never truly present, never fully aware of your thoughts or emotions? We often forget that silence is a powerful tool for self-awareness, a space where we can process our emotions, evaluate our thoughts, and understand our true desires and fears. In the stillness, we can often find the most profound solutions to our challenges. A modern-day example of this is the practice of meditation, which has been scientifically shown to reduce stress and improve mental clarity. People meditate not to find immediate answers to every question, but to regain balance, to center themselves, and to sharpen their ability to think clearly in the face of adversity. Meditation teaches us that in silence, our minds can break free from habitual patterns of thought, offering a fresh perspective on the situations we face. For the Stoics, silence also plays a critical role in how we respond to adversity. When we encounter difficulties, whether in our personal lives or in our relationships, our first impulse may be to react emotionally, to let anger, frustration, or fear take over. But when we embrace silence, we create a space where we can step back from the heat of the moment, observe the situation without judgment, and choose a response based on wisdom, rather than impulse. Imagine facing a challenging situation, perhaps a conflict with a colleague or a stressful family issue. In those moments, when emotions are high, it's easy to make rash decisions that we later regret. But by finding stillness, by pausing before reacting, we allow ourselves to gain perspective. In this silence, solutions emerge naturally, and we can approach the problem with a calm, clear mind. Silence is not just about rest. It is an essential part of inner growth. Through silence, we develop the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them. We learn to listen to ourselves deeply, to understand our impulses, and to choose actions that align with our values. In this space, we begin to understand ourselves more fully and cultivate the wisdom to navigate life with greater ease. By embracing silence, you will discover a profound sense of peace. As you become more attuned to your inner stillness, you will find that external distractions, whether noise, stress, or conflict, have less power over you. This peace will not only bring calm to your inner world, but will also empower you to face external challenges with greater resilience and wisdom. 5. Cultivating gratitude. In the pursuit of inner peace and emotional mastery, one of the most significant principles in Stoic philosophy is gratitude. Cultivating gratitude is not just a means to maintain calmness, but also a powerful tool for overcoming negative emotions such as anger. But why is gratitude so essential, and how can we incorporate it into our daily lives? For Stoic philosophers, gratitude is not merely about appreciating the good things in life. It extends to accepting everything that comes our way, whether it brings joy or hardship. Marcus Aurelius, a key Stoic figure, once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This is more than just a gentle reminder, it's a principle for approaching life with gratitude. In our modern lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of complaining or blaming when things don't go as planned. However, Stoicism teaches us that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Imagine if, every day, you began by focusing on what you already have instead of fixating on what you lack or desire. Have you ever paused to truly appreciate the small yet invaluable things in life, such as your health, a warm home, or a nourishing meal? By shifting our perspective from what's missing to what's already present, anger and negative emotions gradually lose their grip on us. Gratitude in adversity. Gratitude takes on an even deeper meaning within Stoic philosophy. We are encouraged to be thankful not only for the good things, but also for the difficulties and adversities we face. Rather than becoming angry or resisting fate when things don't go as expected, Stoicism urges us to view challenges as lessons life offers us. For instance, when someone treats you poorly, instead of feeling anger, practice gratitude for the lesson in patience and forgiveness they have provided. When you face failure at work, be thankful for the valuable experience that will help you grow and improve. Gratitude in action. Gratitude is not just a mindset, but also an active practice. One effective way to cultivate gratitude is through daily journaling. By reflecting and writing down things we appreciate, we train our minds to focus on the positive aspects of life. This simple habit helps foster a positive mindset and prevents us from falling into cycles of resentment. A modern example of this practice is how many successful individuals begin their day by listing 3 things they are grateful for. This practice not only helps them stay balanced, but also contributes to their overall happiness and success. The transformative power of gratitude. Gratitude is not merely a choice, it's an essential life skill. To overcome anger, we must learn to redirect our thoughts from negative to positive, from what we lack to what we already have. Ask yourself, what are you taking for granted that you should actually be grateful for? When faced with difficulties, can you view them as opportunities for personal growth instead of obstacles? This is the true transformative power of gratitude. It doesn't just bring peace, it also helps us master our emotions, allowing us to navigate life with greater wisdom and calmness. So let's take a moment to reflect. What are you grateful for today? Trusting the natural order. Number 6, trusting the natural order. Have you ever stopped to wonder why certain events in life feel completely out of your hands? We all face situations that feel beyond our control. Losing a crucial job, ending a meaningful relationship, facing major personal crises. But here's a thought. Does reacting with anger, blame, or resistance to these events actually help? According to Stoic philosophy, the answer is a clear no. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to trust in the natural order of the universe, a process that we can't control, but one that we can learn to accept and flow with. A lesson from turbulence. Imagine this, you're on a plane, and the flight starts off smooth. But suddenly, the plane hits turbulence, shaking violently. Passengers panic, some clutching their seats in fear, others venting their frustrations at the crew for the disturbance. Now let's take a step back. The turbulence was caused by weather conditions, something completely beyond anyone's control. Rather than giving in to fear or frustration, we can choose to accept the situation. Trust the crew, who are trained to handle these very scenarios. This is a perfect illustration of a key Stoic lesson. Events occur not because we've done something wrong, but because they are part of the natural order of the world. By trusting this flow, we reduce our anger and regain our peace of mind. Just like a plane riding out turbulence, we too can ride through life's ups and downs without letting negativity take over. Applying the philosophy in daily life. Have you ever found yourself in situations where your best efforts didn't yield the results you hoped for? Nothing seemed to go as planned? It's all too easy to spiral into frustration or anger when life feels like it's slipping through your fingers. But here's a question to ponder. Does anger change the outcome of the situation? Or does accepting and trusting the unfolding events free you from unnecessary mental strain? When we accept life's unpredictability, we open ourselves up to a deep sense of calm and tranquility. Imagine a pilot flying through a storm. They don't panic. Instead, they rely on their training and the resources around them to navigate safely through the turbulence. Similarly, Stoic philosophy teaches us to embrace life as a continuous flow. Resisting that flow only causes unnecessary suffering. Finding serenity. By trusting in the natural order of the universe, we release anger and frustration. We find peace within ourselves. We face challenges with clarity and calm. This mindset shifts us from resistance to acceptance, creating the space for inner growth and resilience to flourish. Looking ahead, having explored the power of trusting in the natural order, we are now ready to dive into another transformative principle, the power of forgiveness. Join us as we continue our journey into the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy in the next segment of the video. Thank you for walking this path of reflection and growth with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts on trusting the natural order. Leave a comment below, and let's inspire one another to embrace the natural flow of life. The power of forgiveness. Number 7, the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is often regarded as one of the most noble, yet difficult acts a person can undertake. In Stoic philosophy, forgiveness is not seen as a weakness, but as a profound expression of inner strength and emotional mastery. It's an act that not only heals relationships, but also liberates us from the chains of anger and hatred. But why is forgiveness such a transformative practice, and how can it truly reshape our lives? The burden of resentment. Throughout life, we all encounter moments of pain caused by betrayal from a close friend, misunderstandings in a relationship, injustices at work. Our natural instinct often leads us to hold on to anger, thinking it will protect us from being hurt again. But take a moment to ask yourself, does anger truly offer protection? Or does it instead weigh you down, clouding your thoughts and keeping you trapped in the past? When we hold on to resentment, we carry an emotional burden that blocks clarity, diminishes our joy, prevents us from achieving inner peace. Forgiveness, on the other hand, lightens this weight and restores balance to our lives, creating space for emotional freedom. Forgiveness through understanding. According to Stoic principles, forgiveness arises from understanding and compassion. It's not a sign of surrender or weakness, but an act of emotional strength. Through forgiveness, we acknowledge that human beings are flawed and that, like us, others are capable of making mistakes. A powerful example of this is the story of Louis Zamperini, an Olympic athlete and World War II soldier. After his plane was shot down, he spent 47 days adrift at sea, only to be captured by the Japanese. He endured years of brutal treatment in prison, particularly from an officer known as the Bird. After the war, Zamperini returned to the US, burdened by anger and hatred. This resentment poisoned his life, leading to personal and marital crises. The turning point came when he realized that the only way to break free from the pain of his past was through forgiveness. Zamperini made the choice to forgive his captors, including the Bird. Even though he never met the officer again, the act of forgiveness gave him peace. Zamperini later said, "Forgiveness is the completion of hatred. When I forgave, I was finally free." The real beneficiary of forgiveness. When we forgive, who benefits the most? It's not the person being forgiven, it's ourselves. Forgiveness is a gift we give to our own hearts, allowing us to let go of anger and resentment, reclaim our inner peace, focus on personal growth instead of past hurts. In the moment we forgive, we take back control over our emotions and open the door to freedom. Forgiveness in practice. It's important to understand that forgiveness does not mean excusing the wrongdoing, forgetting the lessons learned. Rather, forgiveness is a conscious decision not to allow anger to dominate our lives. By choosing forgiveness, we master our emotions, releasing negativity and embracing peace. Will you choose forgiveness? Forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts you can give, not just to others, but to yourself. So ask yourself, is holding on to resentment truly worth the weight it carries? What kind of freedom could forgiveness bring into your life? Choose the strength of forgiveness over the burden of anger. As the Stoics teach us, forgiveness is not just an action. It's a powerful tool for finding serenity and regaining control over our emotions. Let's continue this journey of Stoic wisdom together as we explore the next life-changing principle in our quest for personal growth and wisdom. Conclusion. Life often places us in situations where anger seems like the most natural response. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us that anger only causes harm and suffering to ourselves. It shows us that true mastery of our emotions and our lives lies in embracing calmness, particularly during moments of adversity. While we cannot control the external circumstances around us, we have complete control over how we choose to respond to them. So, the next time life presents a challenge, remember this. Every time you choose calmness over anger, you are winning the battle within yourself. Each moment of forgiveness and acceptance takes us one step closer to freedom and inner peace. As we begin to fully understand and embody these Stoic principles, life becomes lighter, and we can face any challenge with a peaceful heart. Trust me, once you grasp the transformative power of Stoic philosophy, anger will no longer hold sway over you. Instead, you will approach life with a calm confidence and compassion, qualities that cultivate true happiness and an unshakable sense of serenity.